Good day, everybody. Bevo here. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Welcome back to Space Engineers, everyone. So, alright guys, last episode we went ahead and we finished off the bottom of our ship. So, we haven't come up with a name for this. What should we name it? What should we name it? Right now, I'm just calling it Ship. So, that's what it is. It's Ship. That's the name of our vessel right here. So we do need to come up with a name for this. But this episode, I want to go ahead and do the top part of our ship, right? So, kind of where the flight deck is going to be. And I have been thinking about this over the weekend. And I was thinking that, you know what? I think that we should do... I'm thinking that we should do, no, that's not what I want right there. I'm thinking that we should do a hangar bay in here because, you know, going through, the atmospheric re-entry process, with a whole bunch of ships that are just kind of sitting on top of it is a terrible idea. An absolutely horrible idea. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, so we will have like a little kind of a flight deck looking thing up on top of the hangars because I want that look on here, but I do want to make it so that the ship doesn't explode when it goes through the re-entry process. Now, of course, as space engineers, we don't have atmospheric drag. We don't have to worry about terminal velocity. You know, we're not going to have a huge envelope of plasma, enveloping our spacecraft. You know, when in real life, when a spacecraft goes through an atmosphere, you know, the temperatures of that plasma on here, you know, basically on Earth, this is just a coincidence. This is just a crazy coincidence. There's no actual mathematical, physical, reason, in physics for this to happen. But the temperature of the plasma envelope on a spacecraft when it's going through the re-entry process, yeah, it's actually the equivalent to the meters a second that is entering the atmosphere. So, for example, a spacecraft coming back from the moon, it hits the Earth's atmosphere going about 10,000 meters a second. Well, guess what? The plasma that's surrounding that spacecraft is about 10,000 Kelvin, which is about, 9.8 thousand Celsius, or about, if anyone's using Fahrenheit. Does anyone still use Fahrenheit? I don't know. It's about, what, like 18,000 Fahrenheit? Yeah, 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's crazy hot. So we don't want, a spacecraft just kind of hanging out on top of this thing when you have a plasma envelope going 18,000 degrees, just destroying that sucker. All kinds of atmospheric drag. Those things would just go, woo, and fly off, right? That'd just be a horrible idea. So, in fact, I mean, that's like what? That's like twice the temperature of the surface of the sun. Where's the sun? Sun, where'd the sun go? We have a sun over here somewhere. There is a sun. We do have a sun in here somewhere. Yeah, but wherever the sun is, I don't know where it is. But the surface of the sun, the temperature of the surface of the sun is about 5,500 degrees Kelvin, okay? Or Celsius. You could think of those as somewhat similar. About maybe 5,200 degrees Celsius, right? So, I mean, it's hot. But the plasma envelope that would be surrounding our spacecraft would be about twice the temperature of the surface of the sun. That's just craziness. Now, of course, the temperature of the sun, the atmosphere, the temperature of the atmosphere of the sun is a lot hotter than the surface. The temperature of the atmosphere of the sun is, let's go ahead and rotate you over this way. The temperature of the atmosphere of the sun is millions of degrees. Millions of degrees. And that's the reason the atmosphere of the sun is so much hotter than the surface of the sun is because the sun has little magnetic fields. There's like just billions of them, just all over the place. These little magnetic fields, they go whoop, they form like little circles that are coming up off of the surface of the sun, okay? And then those magnetic fields, they have all kinds of crazy stuff that's going on with that. And that's millions and millions and millions and millions of degrees up there in the atmosphere of the sun. So that's where all that real, the heat comes from. And that's what creates the solar winds, right? You've probably seen, videos or pictures of the sun where these kind of big, kind of like little roundy things come up off the sun, right? And then they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they pop, poof, and they throw plasma out through the solar system, right? And that's creating that solar wind for us. But yeah, when a spacecraft comes through the atmosphere of a planet, yeah, it ionizes the gases. It ionizes those gases, and that's what makes it really, really hot. That's what creates that plasma. That ionization process is what creates that plasma envelope that makes it so hot. So I'm thinking that we really don't... Sorry, I probably shouldn't be talking about this in Space Engineers. This is more Kerbal Space Program kind of thing. But, oh no, we need to bring you over one. So, yeah, I'm still, even though this is not a thing, it's in Space Engineers, I'm still thinking that we should, somewhat keep it in mind that, have it at least a little bit realistic, even though we don't have, you know, terminal velocity or atmospheric drag, atmospheric efficiency, or anything like that in this game. I'm thinking that we should still kind of stick with the hangar here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of building out like kind of the foundation of where that hangar is going to go. And what I'm thinking is we'll go ahead and build up from right here. So let's go ahead and build something like, let's go ahead and rotate you. Something like this right here. And then we'll go ahead and go with, let's see, how about number 4? So 1 is 3 long. Oh, you're good to go right there. All right, perfect. Okay, we'll go ahead and do another one of you. And then how about you right there? All right, that should be good. So something like this is kind of what I'm thinking. In fact, what we can do is we'll go ahead and do, you like this, right? And then we'll go ahead and rotate you over. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do these across here. Like this. Okay, I like this. And we'll go ahead and just build you up from right here. Let's go ahead and get rid of these guys now. Okay. Get rid of you and you. And then we're going to have our small ships are actually going to hang out over here on this section of the hangar. Okay. So we'll go ahead and park our small ships right over here, right? Now I'm thinking we're going to have like a huge hangar doors up here somewhere. So huge hangar doors, kind of like, you know, the back part of that thing right there. You know what we have going on right there. Yeah, those kind of hangar doors right up here. So our ships can come in and out through this section right here. We'll park our small ships back over there. So things like our little miners, our little welders, that kind of stuff. We'll have a whole bunch of them parked along the sides of our ship, right? And we're going to have this thing is going to come all the way out. So it's going to come out like right over here somewhere. Maybe out to about right there. And then back around like this. Okay. And then we'll park our big ships. We're going to have large ships on here. So I want to be able to take large ships down to the planet. So we could build the large ships out here in space where it's nice and easy, right? And we have asteroids that we can mine up and all that kind of crazy stuff. And then we could take these large ships down to the planet. And we could park those large ships kind of like right here would be a good spot to park a large ship, right? So I think that'd be really, really cool. So we'll park our large ships, you know, one right there, maybe one over there, you know, something like that. I think that would be kind of cool. And our small ships, we could park our small ships along here. And then we're going to have like a little deck up on top of this thing, right? So, and we might even put some more cargo containers up there. We could do that. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason we wouldn't. We shouldn't. So, yeah, let me go ahead and kind of build this out a little bit, and I'll bring you guys back in a moment. What do y'all think of these right here? So this is like where we go ahead and kind of land our small ships. I think that should be good. You know, that's what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. That's plenty for any kind of like little, you know, welders and like this. I mean, this is what, like 3 blocks right here, maybe 2.5 blocks right there. Yeah, so that should be good. Let's actually go ahead and see how many blocks this actually is. So that's 1, 2, yeah, 2.5 blocks for that right there. So 6 blocks should be plenty for any kind of small ships. And then if like it's got a welder or something like that on the front of it, we just go ahead and park it facing that way right there. So that should be good. Now we need to go ahead and start bringing this stuff in. So let's see, we need you, and I think we're going to need you. Let's see. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this one. So, all right, so you right there, and then you right there. That should be good right there. And then let's see, which one, what are you? So you're a thing that's like that. That's not what we need. We need this one, I think. So like this. Let's go ahead and check. I think these should be good. Okay, so we go ahead and start bringing these in using these kind of armor ramps and that kind of stuff right there. And that should be good to go. Let's see. We could bring you in a little bit more right here. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and bring this in something with using this one. So we can go ahead and use this one now. Let's go ahead and bring it up like this. Okay, so that right there is kind of cool. I kind of like this. Okay, so we can kind of bring that up one right there. So this is actually, let's see, we could actually use one of these blocks on here. So something like that right there for right there. That looks good. That looks good. And then we go ahead and use these blocks like this across here. So it's kind of coming up a little bit. All right, all right. And then we'll go ahead and kind of bring that out this way a little bit. So it's still kind of coming up and out a little bit right there. Although I kind of would like to kind of keep you, let's see, maybe we should actually stick with this one right here. So something like, let's see, how did I have you? There we go. Something like this. We go ahead and keep this out this way. Yeah, I'm digging this. I'm digging this. So it does come in a little bit right there, but we still have it coming out a little bit. So yeah, we're just going to keep bringing this around this way like this. And then I think we can actually probably, yeah, keep that up as we kind of turn around right there. So that should be kind of cool. Okay, so yeah, let me go ahead and kind of work this one maybe out a little bit right here, and then kind of start figuring out how we're going to do this back part right here. We'll probably go ahead and kind of mirror that right there over here. So we could park some small ships up on this side right here with the large ships out in front. Maybe, I don't know. Or we could do a cargo connections right here. We could do some cargo connectors right here. So some more cargo containers. I think that might be good as well. So yeah, I don't know. We'll kind of look at that when we get over there. So y'all know how I was just talking about the how the atmosphere of the sun is so much hotter than the surface of the sun, right? So the atmosphere is like 1,000,000 degrees Kelvin, while the surface of the sun is like 5,000 degrees Kelvin, and the core of the sun is about 16,000 degrees or million degrees Kelvin. So it's like 15 million degrees, then 5,000 degrees, and then like 1,000,000 degrees out here. Well, until the 1960s, in the 1960s, we sent up spacecraft to go ahead and study the atmosphere of the sun, okay? And try and figure out what's going on with those magnetic bands, why it's so hot up there. And, we're still not 100% sure exactly what's going on there. There's still a lot of stuff we need to learn about it. You know what? I have a better idea than this. Well, there's something really, until we sent up those spacecraft, right, in the 1960s, the only way we could study the atmosphere of the sun was during a full-on eclipse of the sun. So, for example, if the moon moves right in front of the sun, okay, it covers up the sun right there. That's the only time until the spacecraft went up that we could study the atmosphere of the sun, where those magnetic bands are going, right? So, something really, really, really cool. The only eclipse for 2016 is actually happening tonight. It's actually happening tonight, which is kind of cool, right? It's kind of just a coincidence that we were talking about that, and that's happening tonight. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe I just unconsciously, put those two things together. I don't know. But it's only happening over the Pacific Ocean. So if you live over the southern Pacific Ocean, kind of from Indonesia up to Hawaii kind of area, that's where it's actually happening. And it's actually going to be yesterday for you guys watching me on YouTube. I'll mention on Twitter. So if you're following me on Twitter, I'll give you guys a heads up on that. So yeah, but that's kind of cool that the only time that they could study it is when the eclipse happened. Well, of course, now we have all the kind of fancy spacecraft to go ahead and study these things. Let's actually not do you right there. Let's actually go ahead and do you guys something like this. So out like that. And then we'll go ahead and do you, rotate you up like this, do one of you right there, and then another one of you right here. I love doing these things. I love doing these kind of like how these kind of slopes kind of work, right? And then there's like all these different angled blocks and what have you. The only thing is I absolutely hate trying to mirror it because we're having to make this all symmetrical, right? That means I have to copy exactly this over there. That's the only hard part about it, is I always get it wrong. I always get it wrong all the time, constantly. Yeah. Let's actually go ahead and put you right here like this. And we'll go ahead and do you out like that. And we'll go ahead and continue bringing you out right here. So yeah, all right, let me go ahead and kind of play with this some. What I'm actually thinking about doing right now is putting living quarters over here. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and bring this out this way now. So now that we have that coming in a little bit, I'm thinking we're gonna go ahead and start bringing this out a little bit over here, right? And then we'll go ahead and do you right there, another one of you right there, and then we'll go ahead and do you out this way. Right. So I'm actually thinking we're going to have some living quarters back over here. Maybe a mess decks right there. Maybe a medical bay right over there. And then maybe the bridge control area right over here. Instead of doing a big tower. Because if we did a big tower, trying to keep this whole entire ship symmetrical, right? If we did a big tower, the best place to do it would be right in the very center. Right? However, I don't want a big tower right in the center. I want the huge airlock doors. Those huge airlock doors like that right there, going all the way across this whole entire thing. It's going to open up so that, during the atmosphere, we could close the top of this. But when we're down on the planet or out in space, we can just have those airlock doors open. So all of this right here will be open to space or open to atmosphere. So it will be like a flight deck, except we could close off the flight deck when we're going through atmospheric re-entry. So the plasma envelope won't destroy all of the vessels that are going to be inside of here. That's kind of my thinking along, I don't know, that's just kind of my simple little thinking there. Might be a good idea. Might be a terrible idea. We'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and continue playing with this stuff right here because I enjoy it. So we'll be back, guys. Okay, guys. So I've changed my mind again on how I wanted to go ahead and do all this. So Yeah, I'm always building things, and then as I'm building things, I'm like, oh, how cool would this or this or this be? So what I kind of decided on trying out, I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but I was thinking of putting these cargo containers like that right there up here. So 4 more cargo containers. I think that would be super amazing. Let's go ahead and try one out. I want to see. That's gonna move you back a little bit. Okay, so you're just gonna go right there. Okay, so here's kind of my thinking is you see here how I have like the 3 low supports going on right there? Yeah, now I just eyeballed this, so this might not actually match up. But I wanted to get those supports, which are coming off the main ship, to kind of match up with the supports from the cargo containers, right? And so the cargo container is just gonna come down. We're gonna bring it down, like pretend like I have a tug on my head, right? It's gonna bring it down. Beep, 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 until I merge with the merge block that's going to be right there. So let's go ahead and build out a cargo container and see how this all works. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and do you like this right here. It's going to weld that sucker up. And then we're going to go ahead and do one like this, which I need to go ahead and provide it power first. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it some power and go ahead and weld that sucker up. Okay, so you're good to go. You're good to go. All right, so we'll go ahead and remove that now. Okay, so now that should actually be merged in part of the ship. So, all right, let's see here. So we're going to want a bunch of cargo containers on this part right here. So we want, what is it? It's, we want 4 cargo containers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, this should, it matches. Yes! Yes, 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 yes. I can't believe I got that right. I'm really surprised I got that right. That was a lot. I've been doing a lot of counting. My brain is gone pretty much to mush by now. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and bring this all the way back right here. Remember, this is we're gonna make these cargo containers look exactly like the cargo containers that are down underneath, right? So yeah, I should probably just go ahead and do a projector and start doing it with projectors, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that at some point. That would be a good idea to start making these things up with projectors. So you actually right here, we're going to need a conveyor thing. Right there. Okay. And then out on this way, I just want to go ahead and make sure that all this stuff kind of matches right here. So we want you, and you. Okay. And let's go ahead and like this, right? So I just want to make sure all these supports kind of match up and will look cool. So let's go ahead and put you down like this, like that, and then all the way down to right here. And then we'll have you coming out like this, right? So that's how it's supposed to go. So go ahead and do like this. And same thing right here. Okay. So how does that match up? Yes, it matches up perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. So I do still need to run over here. Somehow I'm going to have to get a conveyor thing up here. Right? So we could, how are we going to do this? So what we'll probably end up doing for the conveyors out here is something like, let's see, we'll have one of these guys coming out. So like this. We'll have you come back this way and somehow plug this into the ship somewhere. So we'll have to figure that out all in good time. But yeah, so that's probably how these things are going to look. Now, we could go ahead and just for extra support, right? We could do a thing like, let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure I'm going to like that. In fact, I'm quite sure I'm not going to like that. I would like to have some kind of support coming off this backside right here. So we could do something like, I don't know how we're going to do this. We could do something like this. So, all right. So we'll go ahead and remove you. Remove all this. And then we'll just have the conveyor come out just like we originally were planning. So out like this, right? And then we'll have this thing right here. So that's not as, I don't know, it's not as good. I don't like this as much. But I think it would look better than what we were just trying to do. There we go. So that way we still have that long kind of thing coming all the way out right there, which I think is kind of cool. And then we'll run it from this thing right here. We'll somehow get the conveyors into the main ship right there. I think that'll look kind of cool. So yeah, let me go ahead and build some of these guys out on all 4 of these, and we'll be right back. What do y'all think of this, guys? So for our top, so For example, that right down there, that's going to be our flight deck. It's just a flight deck that's protected for atmospheric re-entry. So, when we go through and we start ionizing the atmosphere, going, 10,000 meters a second, which, okay, we're not actually doing the space engineers, but, we're going to pretend like this is realistic, right? As we're going through the atmosphere and we're just, we have this huge plasma envelope just destroying, 10,000 degrees Kelvin on the outside of our ship. It's not going to be destroying all of our large, beautiful ships that we have in here. So it's going to be a flight deck that's protected for atmospheric re-entry, and I think it'd be kind of cool. So I set this up with a whole bunch of force fields. So right now we have, let's go ahead and close that. So you see that one right there closes. We have this one over here. So we go ahead and, that's for a large ship over there, a large ship over here, right? So we go ahead and open this sucker up. It's going to have sensors and all that kind of stuff eventually. But the large ship kind of come out. That's going to be a large ship, kind of landing area right there. So it can come fly out, do whatever it wants to do. And the same thing over here on this other side. So we have door number 2. Go ahead and open that one up. Yeah. Let me go ahead and close them up as well, like this. And then I have this one right here, just opens all of it up. And I'm thinking that when we're down in the atmosphere, right, or if we're up here at a station or something like that, we'll go ahead and just leave all this open. So the flight deck will be open, to the environment for the most part. I haven't figured out how I want to do the living quarters quite yet. I'm thinking living quarters back over here somewhere, but I haven't quite. I don't know. I'm probably gonna hold off on. I might do these between episodes, so I might do this between this episode and next episode, just so I can kind of get it done. Next episode, I like to come back and start kind of building out the inside of this stuff. So and building out the ships and all that kind of stuff. What kind of large ships we want. I definitely want to get some tugs built next episode. So we're probably first things first. Next episode is going to build a tug and test these suckers out because we still haven't tested that. I still don't know if this is actually going to work. And I have 6 of these huge cargo containers now. So yeah, I am very happy that we have a lot more cargo containers though. I thought having just 2 cargo containers was a bit derpy. Yeah, I thought that was a bit derpy just having 2 of those down there. But yeah, and then we're gonna, of course, this is where we'll be parking our small ships right here. So living quarters back over there and over there. Maybe control, medical bays, control room, medical bay, that kind of stuff up there. Living quarters with the mast decks and that kind of stuff back over on that side. So yeah, I think it's going to be kind of cool. I like these windows over here though. I really do like these windows looking at the cargo thing. That is like, this is kind of like one of my favorite parts is this right here. I think we need something really cool right there, but I don't know what. I haven't really, put much effort into thinking about what we're gonna put right there, but yeah, anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up right here, guys. We'll come back next episode and yeah, get going with building some ships. All right, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Stay safe. Bye bye. Good day, everybody. Bevo here. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Welcome back to Space Engineers, everyone. So, all right, guys, last episode we went ahead and we finished off the bottom of our ship. So, we haven't come up with a name for this. What should we name it? What should we name it? Right now, I'm just calling it Ship. So that's what it is. It's Ship. That's the name of our vessel right here. So yeah. So we do need to come up with a name for this. But this episode, I want to go ahead and do the top part of our ship, right? For example, a spacecraft coming back from the moon. It hits the Earth's atmosphere going about 10,000 meters a second. Well, guess what? The plasma that's surrounding that spacecraft is about 10,000 Kelvin, which is about, 9.8 thousand Celsius, or about, if anyone's using Fahrenheit. Does anyone still use Fahrenheit? I don't know. It's about, what, like 18,000 Fahrenheit? Yeah, 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's crazy hot. So we don't want, a spacecraft just kind of hanging out on top of this thing when you have a plasma envelope going 18,000 degrees, just destroying that sucker. All kinds of atmospheric drag. Those things would just go, woo, and fly off, right? That'd just be a horrible idea. So, in fact, I mean, that's like what? That's like twice the temperature of the surface of the sun. Where's the sun? Sun, where'd the sun go? We have a sun over here somewhere. There is a sun. We do have a sun in here somewhere. Yeah, but wherever the sun is, I don't know where it is. But the surface of the sun, the temperature of the surface of the sun is about 5,500 degrees Kelvin, okay? Or Celsius. You can think of those as somewhat similar. About maybe 5.2 thousand degrees Celsius, right? So, I mean, it's hot. But the plasma envelope that would be surrounding our spacecraft would be about twice the temperature of the surface of the sun. That's just craziness. So kind of where the flight deck is going to be. And I have been thinking about this over the weekend, and I was thinking that, you know what, I think that we should do. I'm thinking that we should do. No, that's not what I want right there. I'm thinking that we should do a hangar bay in here because, going through the atmospheric reentry process with a whole bunch of ships that are just kind of sitting on top of it is a terrible idea. An absolutely horrible idea. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, so we will have like a little kind of a flight deck looking thing up on top of the hangars because I want that look on here, but I do want to make it so that the ship doesn't explode when it goes through the re-entry process. Now, of course, as space engineers, we don't have atmospheric drag. We don't have to worry about terminal velocity. We're not going to have a huge envelope of plasma, enveloping our spacecraft. When in real life, when a spacecraft goes through an atmosphere, the temperatures of that plasma on here, they reach basically on Earth. This is just a coincidence. This is just a crazy coincidence. There's no actual mathematical, physical, reason, in physics for this to happen. But the temperature of the plasma envelope on a spacecraft when it's going through the re-entry process, yeah, it's actually the equivalent to the meters a second that is entering the atmosphere. So